In the quiet city of San Jose stands a house unlike any other in the world. A mansion filled with endless hallways, staircases that lead to nowhere, and doors that open into walls. This is the story of the Winchester Mystery House, and the woman who built it, Sarah Winchester. After the death of her husband, heir to the Winchester Repeating Arms Company fortune, Sarah Winchester was left with unimaginable wealth, and unbearable grief. But according to legend, her suffering didn't end there. It was said that she visited a medium, someone who could speak to the dead. And what she was told would change her life forever. The medium claimed that Sarah was being haunted, not by one spirit, but by thousands, the souls of those who had been killed by the Winchester rifle. And there was only one way to survive. She had to keep building, non-stop, day and night, year after year. If the construction ever stopped, she would die. Terrified, Sarah moved west and began building a house that would never be finished. At first, it seemed like a normal mansion. But as time passed, the design became strange. Rooms were added for no reason. Staircases twisted into ceilings. Doors opened to dangerous drops. It was as if the house itself had no plan. Or worse, as if it was being built to confuse something that was trying to find its way inside. As the years passed, the mansion in San Jose continued to grow, but not in any normal way. Under the orders of Sarah Winchester, construction never stopped. Workers were hired in shifts so the sound of hammers would echo 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But here's what made it terrifying: there were no blueprints. Sarah would wake up in the middle of the night and sketch new designs, rooms, hallways, staircases, then hand them to the builders in the morning. Sometimes, entire sections of the house would be built, only to be torn down days later. It didn't make sense, unless you believed what she believed, that something was guiding her, or chasing her. Every night, Sarah would retreat into a private seance room, a hidden chamber deep inside the house where no one else was allowed to enter. Servants claimed that strange lights could be seen under the door, and faint voices could be heard inside, as if she was speaking to someone, or something, on the other side. It was said that this was where she received instructions, where the spirits told her what to build next. And the house became more disturbing with every passing year. Staircases that led into ceilings, doors that opened to nothing but air, windows built into the floor, all of it designed for one purpose: to confuse the spirits. To trap them, to keep them from ever finding her. But as the mansion grew larger and stranger, one question remained: was Sarah Winchester building the house to escape the spirits? By the early 1900s, the mansion had grown into something almost impossible to understand. A maze of over 100 rooms, twisting corridors, and designs that made no logical sense. But everything changed in 1906. That year, 1906, San Francisco earthquake struck, shaking the entire region, including San Jose. Parts of the Winchester house collapsed. Towers fell. Rooms were destroyed. Entire sections became unstable. But what terrified Sarah Winchester wasn't just the destruction, it was what she believed it meant. According to legend, Sarah saw the earthquake as a message from the spirits. A warning, or even punishment. Soon after, she made a decision that still confuses historians today. Instead of repairing some of the damaged sections, she ordered them to be sealed off completely. Rooms that had once been accessible were suddenly closed forever. Windows boarded up, doors locked, entire hallways cut off from the rest of the house. As if something inside those rooms was never meant to be seen again. After that, the building became even more chaotic. Construction resumed, but now it felt different. More urgent, more desperate. Workers continued to follow Sarah's strange instructions, adding staircases that went nowhere, doors that opened into walls, and passageways that seemed designed to trap anyone, or anything, inside. But then, something unexpected happened. After decades of non-stop construction, it suddenly stopped. The hammering, the building, the constant noise that had never ended, went silent. For the first time in years, the house was completely still. And some believe, that's when whatever was inside finally had a chance to move freely. After decades of endless construction, something changed inside the mansion in San Jose. The noise stopped. In 1922, Sarah Winchester died in her sleep. And with her death, the building of the house ended instantly. Workers dropped their tools and left. Rooms remained unfinished, nails half driven into wood. It was as if time itself had been frozen inside the mansion. But what happened next made the story even more unsettling. When Sarah's will was read, it contained almost no mention of the house. Despite spending years building it non-stop, the mansion was treated as if it had little value to her. Almost like it was never meant for the living. Soon after, the house was opened to the public. Visitors came from everywhere, curious to see the strange structure filled with impossible architecture. But many of them didn't just leave with curiosity. They left with stories. People reported hearing footsteps in empty corridors, doors moving on their own, and whispers that seemed to follow them from room to room. Some claimed they saw a woman in black wandering through the halls, quiet, distant, and gone within seconds. Others said they felt sudden cold spots, like walking through something invisible. And then there were the rooms. The ones that had been sealed after the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. Even today, parts of the house remain closed, unexplored, untouched. No one truly knows what's inside them. And maybe, that's exactly how it was meant to be. Because if the stories are true, then the Winchester Mystery House was never just a home. It was a maze, a trap, built not to keep people out, but to keep something in. Years passed, but the house in San Jose never truly became silent. Even after the death of Sarah Winchester, visitors continued to report things that couldn't be explained. Tour guides, people who walked those halls every single day, began noticing patterns. Footsteps on upper floors, when no one was there. Doors that slowly moved, even when there was no wind. And sometimes, the sound of distant hammering. As if construction had never really stopped. One of the most famous encounters involves a locked room, known by staff as one of the most active areas in the entire house. Guests standing outside claimed they could hear faint movements inside, a shuffle. A soft knock, something brushing against the walls. But when the door was opened, nothing. Completely empty. Security staff have also reported seeing a figure dressed in black walking through the corridors late at night. Always calm, always silent. Some believe it's Sarah herself, still wandering through the maze she created. Still searching, still building, in some way we can't understand. Even skeptics who visit the mansion often admit one thing: the layout doesn't just feel confusing. It feels intentional. Like every turn, every staircase, every door, was designed with a purpose. Not just to confuse the living, but to control something unseen. Today, Winchester Mystery House remains one of the most visited, and most feared, locations in America. A place where history and mystery blend together so perfectly, that no one can separate fact from legend anymore. And maybe that's the real secret of the house. Because if you can't understand it, you can't escape it. There are houses you can walk through, and then there are houses that stay with you long after you leave. The Winchester Mystery House is one of them. Even today, in San Jose, thousands of visitors step inside its twisting halls every year. Some come out laughing, others leave in silence. Because not everyone experiences the house the same way. Some feel nothing, but others feel everything. A sudden drop in temperature in a warm room. The sensation of being watched from behind, even when you're alone. A quiet whisper that disappears the moment you try to listen. And the strangest part, many people report the same thing after they leave. They start noticing small changes. A shadow that lingers too long. Footsteps when no one is there. A feeling that something followed them. Skeptics will say it's just the mind. Stories so powerful they stay in your thoughts. But those who felt it don't agree. Because the fear doesn't feel imagined. It feels real. Some believe that Sarah Winchester never finished what she started. That the house is still doing what it was built to do, confusing, trapping, containing. And if that's true, then maybe the spirits she feared are still there. Still walking those endless hallways. Still searching for a way out. Or maybe, they already found one. Because the most disturbing theory of all isn't that the house is haunted. It's that the house was never the prison. It was the door. And once you've stepped inside,